Nowadays, moral outrage is all the rage. If you say or do the wrong thing, you can quickly be transformed into a monster, possibly lose your career, and never hear the end of it. While we can debate the merits of this, there's one thing I will say. I'm not going to swear off Alfred Hitchcock or Roman Polanski movies just because they did some bad things on or off the set. In fact, I don't wish to expand much mental energy in this video to defend my opinion. Let me just say great art could and should overshadow the flaws of the artist. This isn't about left or right, man or woman, or skin color for me. It's not about whose speech is freest or whose work is superior. It's about saying, look, I'm not going to let an artist have their tarnished reputation devour my own ability to value their creative work. Part of this stems from being an artist myself. While I never did anything quite as bad as Bill Cosby, Hitchcock, Polanski, or a bunch of others, I'm sure something could be dug up about me from the past, and it could be used to destroy my creative output, such as it is. I would also encourage you to think of that prospect regarding any art you have created, or hypothetically could create, or any artist you currently enjoy whose reputation has not yet really been tarnished in any way. Would you just drop that person willy-nilly upon discovering that they did something at least somewhat morally ambiguous? Or would you at least be really hesitant to do that? And also, regarding yourself, do you really believe that throughout the course of your life, you've never said or done anything offensive or even hurtful to others? You've never crossed a line, even when you were a teenager or a young adult? I honestly think most people have. Possibly everybody, in fact, but at least most people. And this question's even more relevant when, as we have seen time and time again, everything is gradually being regarded as more offensive. The would-be cultural vanguards of the left and the right want us to walk forever on their tightropes. Either that or we'll walk the plank. So what then? Obscurity or infamy. Where this is the case, it's so much better to just avoid creative work altogether, lest we offend anyone's delicate sensibilities. Just make art that is safe, predictable, neat, clean, and says exactly what others wish to hear, or don't make it at all. That is the outcome of this. Anything else is too problematic, right? Basically, what they want is people who are squeaky clean and perfect and who never say anything unsettling. You know, they never veer off the script. Their lives are somehow perfect. They've basically proven themselves to be pure. Well, I don't think that's possible, personally. I'm capable of accepting flawed characters in fiction, and to some degree, flawed creative people in fact. In the real world, people are flawed. They say and do bad things sometimes. In fact, this seems true of just about every single person on the planet. And honestly, I don't trust people who constantly put on a goody two-shoes vibe. I don't trust people who claim to be morally pure. Especially, like, even these people who say, oh, I could have never become a maniac, or I could have never, done this or that. I don't think these people really understand human psychology and how just about anybody can go down a really dark path. They don't understand mental illness. They don't understand genetics, for one thing. They also don't understand how social dynamics can sweep us into immoral behavior. It's just that they want the simple way of looking at things. And that's not really for me. This doesn't mean we can't criticize bad behavior sometimes, or even consider art offensive. However, we need to be willing to ease up on that a little bit sometimes, at least if we are honest. Is the offensive artist nothing but a monster? Also, even if we tend to think so, why not look at their work and analyze what it means and why it was created in the way that it was. What about that artist um, helped them become successful? Um, Simple stuff like that is kind of lacking nowadays, as we so quickly just pass judgment on them. Finally, I'd like to make something clear. Anytime someone drags down a celebrity while claiming to be perfect, they're practically begging to be examined critically themselves. They're all but inviting others to study the skeletons in their own closets, as we have already seen with Me Too, such as figures like Asia Argento, the Democratic Assemblywoman Christina Garcia, Professor Avita Ronell, and of course pop star Katy Perry, who's under fire for a few things. And of course, for those who are using male misdeeds to make women look like flawless, beautiful, perfect angels, go ahead and look up some female serial killers when you have a moment. And of course, you could also look at the female teachers caught having sex with students. Um, yeah, women are not necessarily that much superior to men, and some women are not at all superior to most men. Um, Imagine that. There actually is, you know, some crossover when it comes to morality here between the genders. Anyway, that all aside, the art aspect really is partly a matter of taste. For example, I was never a big fan of Bill Cosby, and his being a serial rapist makes it that much easier for me to shrug off his career, even though I won't vilify people who can still watch The Cosby Show. However, speaking personally, I will only surrender Psycho when you take it from my cold, dead hands.